hope you all are doing really well. I'm doing really well. I am blessed, and I hope you are blessed in this lifetime as I am. So today I wanted to speak on something that may be controversial or may be triggering for somebody or some of you that are sensitive to sexual assault or child molestation or anything like that. And what I'm going to speak on is something that happened to me, and I want to speak on this so you parents can be more aware and not turn a blind eye to children, because I feel like parents have this idea of watch out for that adult, watch out for that man, watch out for that woman, but it's never watch out for that child. And I think that that's where the blind spot is that people think that children are just so innocent, and sometimes children aren't, so innocent, Well, I won't even say that. I think that the children just imitate what they have seen or what somebody has done to them or what they're just experiencing in the home or see what mommy and daddy do. And that's why I understand why sometimes people aren't like affectionate in front of their children. And I kind of get that because kids are like sponges and they imitate what they see and imitate, what's going on in their home. And just like I said, I hate to even say that they're not innocent or that they're predators or anything like that. I really hate to say that because I just don't believe that, they mean harm or that they actually know that they're not supposed to be doing that. And I will get into that in a little bit. So I think that if I just tell my story, it could be helpful to parents or of somebody who feels that they were a victim of sexual molestation from a child or something like that, or just feel like they need closure from something in their childhood, and so I want to speak about it. And I have never spoken about it, not even to like my family or like anything, but I feel that if I speak my truth, it could be helpful to you as a parent or helpful to you as a victim or helpful to you as somebody who's confused, so my mother never let me go anywhere as a child, like rarely ever out of her sight. But we lived in these townhouses, and it's like a big community, you know what I mean? And I would play with the kids, all through the neighborhood because we were close. My mother let me play with them because our houses were literally right diagonal towards each other or behind each other, whatever, but she would never let me stay at anyone's home or wouldn't let any kids stay at our home. I think that my mom was very overprotective, but just this one time, my mother let me go to someone's house, a child's house who was the same age as me. I was like 7, and my sister also went with us, and she let us go because the house was literally just diagonal from my house. We didn't live far at all, and she knew the child's mother, everything like that. So she just felt comfortable. No men lived in the house or anything like that. So my mother felt comfortable enough for us to go, and I was just so happy. But so when I stayed over and it was time for bedtime, I slept. There was bunk beds. My sister was on top with her older sister, and we were on the bottom. And like I said, me and this girl were like the same age. We were like 7, and she started to do things that I knew weren't right or like shouldn't be happening because I didn't feel good about it while it was happening. So I just think that she had seen something and was just imitating it, because something also that was weird was that there's this movie that's called Superstar that was playing, and I know that we shouldn't be watching it because the girl was doing weird things. She was like tongue kissing a tree and like humping the tree, something like that. I don't know, but I knew that in my house we wouldn't be watching that, but I don't know why that was on the TV at the time. But like I said, she was just like doing things that I think that adults do, that a child shouldn't even know how to do, or to touch you down there or anything like that. And I just remember I just kind of like laid there. Like I didn't do that to her back or anything like that. I just kind of like let her do it. And I never had a thought of being upset with her or anything like that. We'll call her Kay. I never had a thought of being mad at Kay or had anything until this day. Like I still know Kay, and I have never talked about it with her or anything, but I just think that something had happened to her. Like I would hate to call her like a predator or anything like that, because like I said, I just believe that she didn't know what she was doing, or that we weren't supposed to be doing those things, because I just believe she was just imitating what she had seen. And after that, I never stayed over there again, you know, or anything like that, but it created a cycle. And I don't think that I was the only girl that she had done that to, because like I said, we lived in this big neighborhood, and we all played together. And I noticed that after that happened, and we met these new girls, and we'll call one of them Jay. One time I was at Jay's house, and Kay was actually friends with Jay before I knew Kay, before I knew Jay, before I was like staying home with her. And I noticed that one day when I was playing with Jay, my mother actually caught us, and we were outside playing in Jay's backyard playing, and my mother had walked past to come get me, and she saw us. And this is how I know that we didn't know that it was wrong, because why were we outside doing that? You know what I mean? Things like that. And when my mom caught us, she was upset, but not with me, you know, like she didn't even really say anything to me. I think that she was more so shocked that we were doing those things outside, and that we knew how to do those things. And she just told me, don't do that. That's not good. And after that, I never did it, you know? And like I said about the cycle, you know, when one kid does that to somebody else, they start to do it to somebody else. They start to do it to somebody else. And for me, I never did that to anybody else, but I wanted to do that with other kids. You know what I mean? But I just never initiated, so it never happened. But and I can admit that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I think it creates a cycle, you know, and Kay and Jay until this day are actually lesbians. And they do have, and some of them do have children. Like I just think that it just creates things. And as an adult, when I look back at it, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for them. You know, I feel like, did somebody do that to you? Or like, you know what I mean? Or like, I just think that I don't know. Like I said, I just don't hold any type of resentment towards them or anything. Like I said, I still know them until this day. You know, I don't hang out with them, but when I see them, I still have to say hello and things like that. And we have never spoken about it. And my mother has never spoken about it to me. And I just want to speak out, like I said, because I don't want my daughter or my son to ever think they can't come to me because we only spoke about the bad man. We only spoke about the bad woman. We only spoke about the white van. We only spoke about the adult. But we never spoke about the kid. Like, you know what I mean? I want them to be able to say, hey, you know, mommy, this kid did something to me. Do you think that's weird? And I noticed, like I said, we all lived in this neighborhood and we all played together. And when we would play like Barbies or something, I noticed that they were very sexual, like in the play, you know, with the Barbies and things like that. And like I said, as I look back as an adult, I wish I could have told my mommy, you know what I mean? Because my mommy told me about the bad man and about the bad woman. And you best believe if an adult did that to me, I would have been telling my mama. But because a kid did that to me, I think it kind of left me like confused or whatever. And I've never even spoken about it with my sisters either. But I believe that maybe something could have happened because, You know what I mean? Her older sister. You know, I don't know. I just think that it was weird. You know, and I mean weird as in a sense of that it was like normal. You know, it was like normal to the kids, you know, that were very sexual around me and things like that. I just noticed that it was just something that you do, you know? And it wasn't like we were hiding it. That's how, like I keep on saying, like how I know they didn't know it was bad. So that's why I will never call them like a predator. I will never call a child a predator or anything like that. Like I said, kids are sponges. They do what they see, you know, and things like that. And and you know, it's not even about what they see in their homes. Also, it's about what they see on TV and the movies and things like that. And I understand why you know, people are so uptight about watching their kids watch sexual scenes or anything like that, because my parents never let me watch those things ever, you know. I never watched the same type of movies or whatever my parents were watching or things like that. And I think that a lot of the parents sometimes mess up, especially with this TikTok thing, letting their kids watch these adults and relationships. Oh yeah, they're just watching because they have kids too. But you have to understand that the kids are watching every single thing, you know, whether they're kissing, hugging, whatever, you know what I mean? Like I said, kids imitate. And I feel like that's what had happened in my situation. And in a lot of situations, you know, people don't realize how evolved kids are and advanced kids are, especially in this day and age. So I think that this is just a very important topic, and I would love to hear in the comments, like if something like that has happened to you that's similar, or you know, you've experienced how hypersexual children were. And like I said, the ages were like 6 to like 9 that I was around, you know. So very, very young. And like I said, it just creates a cycle, you know, and it's like a silent cycle. And I just want more parents to be able to speak about the child that imitates. And like I said, I hate to say predator, but like, you know, about the child, not just the bad adult, not just the bad, you know, man, the kidnappers or whatever, you know, speak about the children too, you know. And I definitely understand when people say, oh, I don't let my kids sleep over anywhere, you know, because you don't know what's happening, you know, over there. And you don't have to just watch out for the adults, you know. So just like I said, there is a blind spot that parents have, and they need to have that conversation. I know it's hard or whatever, but you have to have that conversation. And just like I said, my mother didn't have that conversation with me. She just said, don't do that. She wasn't upset with me. She didn't yell or anything, but I can tell that she was upset, you know, but she never spoke about it to me until this day. But I remember it, you know, and I wish I would have been able to speak about it with her, you know, a little bit more. But, you know, that's not my mother's fault or anything like that, you know. It's not her fault, and it's not your fault if you don't speak to your child about the bad child, or, you know, things like that, or something weird that happened with the child, you know. It's not their fault. And another thing I wanted to speak on too, that how I know that kids imitate. I was recently invited to a Christmas party, and this child was playing with a older family member, and the child kept reaching for the private area and was like, oh, I got your area, you know, like things like that. And the child was like 3, you know, he was 3, and the grandma just said, don't do that, you know. And I was just like, is anybody gonna question that? Is anybody gonna look into that? And the grandmother didn't say anything to the child's mother or anything like that. She just said, don't do that. Don't touch me there. And he kept on doing it. And then she finally said, don't touch me there. And I'm looking around, there's adults everywhere, and nobody said anything. Nobody questioned it. You know, it's things like that, I think, that people should question and ask their children questions and, you know, things like that. Because if it was me, I would have been like, what happened to you? You know, did somebody do anything to you? Or how do you know that? Who played that game with you? And he was doing it as if it was a game, you know, as if it was playful, you know? And I just was like, that ain't right. Something ain't right, you know? But nobody questioned it. So I really want to speak on that. And if you're a parent or whatever and you notice things and you don't say anything, you know, you're not a bad parent. Just question it, you know, just question anything, you know, that seems off about your child or anything, you know, and don't be afraid to speak about children doing things to other children, you know, to your children, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to speak on that, and hope everybody is blessed and well in this lifetime. And let me know, you know, what you think in the comments. You know, let me know if you've experienced something similar. I would love to know, you know. I would love to be able to learn also. So don't be afraid to share. So peace, love, abundance, and wisdom to you always. Bye.